Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-October 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's going on for the lovely Geminis. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. My guides, talk to me. What do we have for the Geminis here as we move into mid-October? One of my favorite times of year, at least where I'm at. But let's see what's up. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini. Please and thank you. As we move towards the mid part of the month, what's happening? There we go. Okay, so we have the femme fatale here. This is a powerful energy. That's one thing I will say. There's an allure here, and it's so powerful, confident, and sexy, but there is like a little air of danger to this card. And we'll get into all the nitty-gritty details. It's very confident. So I'm liking what I'm feeling so far. It's like very fiery. Before we fully dive into it though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about the femme fatale. Very interesting symbolism here. So we see this beautiful woman. She is dressed in red. There's like a red bird next to her. She's holding a rose. There's Venus flytraps down here towards the bottom. So yes, there's a certain aesthetic and there's a certain confidence whenever this card shows up. So maybe some of you are in that mode. Maybe there's some, you're feeling good, looking good. Something involving your self-confidence could be at play. So whether it's heightened or whether it's lowered, but there's, I don't want to say a lusting for something. There's a want when we have the femme fatale, because it's alluring, right? There's something, it's like magnetic. So there could be someone or something that's looking at you like that, or maybe there's something that you're like, oh, that looks good to me from over here. But there is that little bit of danger attached to it. So do with that energy what you will. Just beware of, like, in this time, certain things that might look good, they might look great, there could be something underneath, because just like with roses, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but they have thorns, right? And the same thing with Venus flytraps that we see down here. They're beautiful, they emit a beautiful smell that pulls insects in, and then it traps. So we're just going to put that there. Interesting stuff. That could be a very good energy though, very fired up. Let's get into tarot. Okay, I'm going to get you 3 cards in the upright, then we'll get into the intuitive, juicy stuff. And I always say with that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading, it's just a footnote. Let's see what we have for you though. Let's shuffle it up one time, my guides. Talk to me about Gemini. And while we do, I'll talk to you about last week's reading, because it was pretty good. It was titled Exciting News Incoming, so I hope you did get some. As far as exciting news goes, that energy could still bleed over into this week, regardless of what energy shows up. But I feel like for the past few weeks, there's been like a little change, a little turn in the energy for Gemini towards the positive. So we're going to hope to keep that up. So let's get these 3 cards out. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. Let's get you 3 cards. What's happening with my Geminis, please? Gods and Spirit Team, thank you. Card number 1. All right, a little closed off energy here in the beginning, right? We have the 4 of Pentacles. Obviously, that doesn't have to represent you, and it could be someone else. The 4 of Pentacles gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes, but I feel like that's more of a neutral type of energy. Okay, I mean, we have the 9 of Pentacles right next to it, so it's like we have this yin-yang type of energy with the 4 of Pentacles, now the 9 of Cups. These are definitely different. I'll say that for sure. Let's get one more card out here, then we'll really start piecing this together. Earth and water, which can blend, it can be very well. For some of you, it could even be a little bit of a warning as well. So I'm getting some odd feelings here so far. Okay, we have the moon now. Here comes the mystery. All right, yeah, we're going to have a very nuanced one this week, Gemini. So let's get that moon over there, and let's go through it one by one. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, I have to mention, we have Earth with the 4 of Pentacles, then we have the 9 of Cups and the moon, that's water. So yeah, there's like some emotion mixed into this week's reading. But when I see water and earth mixed together, that's usually an energy of blessings, of potential. It's very bountiful, but I'm cautious. I'm feeling very cautious, specifically because of the Four of Pentacles and the Moon on the back end. Maybe you're being cautious, right? It could be cautiously optimistic. But let's go through one by one and really start to piece this out, because in the front end, they're totally opposites. Whereas one is very, very closed off. The other one is like wide open. Okay, so let's go one by one. Position number one, the Four of Pentacles. Could be a lot of different things. So you see that person there, they have a pentacle on their head, they're clutching onto a pentacle, and this is seen as like a closed off type of energy. Now I do see it as neutral. The positives of this card, it could be someone that's like really tightening up the purse strings, watching what they're spending money on, being on a budget, balancing the books. That could be very good in regards to finance and work. It could represent not letting something go, like hanging on to something, whether that's for good, bad, or indifferent. So there might be a situation, a person, or something that you're not willing to let go of for the time being. That could possibly be it. But there's also, I don't want to say a danger to this card, but in its extreme energy, this could represent somebody that's possessive, could represent somebody that's feeling jealous. Someone that feels like they can control you. So we really want to see what's up. Completely closed off type of energy. So there might be something, a situation, a problem, an issue that you're closing yourself off from purposefully. Like, okay, I'm not giving any more energy to that. Now moving to the center, we have the Nine of Cups. Like I said, completely different from this Four of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups, we have our good friend here that resembles John Travolta. Right? He's chilling there, he's sitting, he has all those 9 cups around him, happy, right? Like just sitting good, sitting comfy. So when we see this card, I do say it is an energy of wish fulfillment. It's very warm, it's very welcoming, like, hey, come on in, have one of these cups with me, let's have a good time, right? So in its good sense, it could represent someone that's just like being welcoming and open arms. So maybe there's something that is possibly opening up, something that's possibly changing. We'll see when we clarify. But challenges with this card are several-fold. One, it could be someone that overindulges. It could represent someone that might drink too much, or someone that overly partakes in certain things. It could be someone that's way too generous, right? Like where someone is a giver, like, you know what, as long as they're okay, I'm okay. Always looking out for other people above themselves, okay? So you might be that type of individual sometimes. So when I see it next to a card like this Four of Pentacles, that could sometimes be spirit saying like, hey, watch out for that. Watch out for that behavior, especially in the beginning. We have the femme fatale. It's like, all right, use a little caution, warning, like don't give too much. We'll see, because I don't really want to go there just yet until we have to, right? I don't like to read in a challenge if it's not there, but I'm already seeing the possible makings for a warning. On the back end, we do have the Moon. Big card of mystery, big card of the unknown. Now, for a portion of you, you might just be connected to a Pisces. I also link this to the Cancer collective as well. The Moon is extremely etheric. This talks about the subtle energies. Yes, it's psychic. It could speak about dreams and just really feeling things on a subtle level. So your psychic gifts, if you have them, could be heightened in this time. Your intuition could be heightened as well. So if your gut's trying to tell you something, you might want to listen to it whenever the Moon's here. But this is one of my biggest cards of the unknown, right? When I see the Moon, I think of the unknown, the unexpected, the surprising, things that we don't quite see just yet because it's in the night, it's in the dark. So with the other cards that we have right next to it, we're going to want to step cautiously optimistic. So with that being said, I want to dive deeper, Gemini. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, shuffle it up one time and see what we have for the Geminis here. Guides and spirit team, what's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you can drop it down in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Four of Pentacles time. Why is that Four of Pentacles in the mix? Thank you. Death card. Okay. This is somebody holding on to something from the past. I would say beware of grudgy types of individuals. When we have the Death card, it could represent a Scorpio. And listen, if you're a Scorpio cross watcher, I'm not talking smack about you, because I have a Scorpio moon myself, so I'm part of the collective. But a thing that people say about Scorpios sometimes is that they never forget. is that they can hold a grudge. Like, you cross a Scorpio once, they're always going to remember. And with the Scorpio energy underneath this Four of Pentacles, this could be a warning. Okay, like, if not you, maybe there is something, right? Maybe you've recently gone through a big problem or an issue or a situation that, like, it's left a mark and you're not ready to let it go yet. You're not ready to heal it or work through it. If that's not you, that could easily be Spirit saying, like, hey, whoop, that person is still upset, that person's mad, that person's holding a little bit of a grudge. So we'll see how it plays out throughout the rest of the reading. Now, let's give some more messages here. The Death card does represent a phoenix rising from the ashes when I see it. Yes, it could be endings, but when I see it, I think of someone remaking themselves and transforming, which could be good as we move through the reading. So once again, I'm still cautiously optimistic, because we could be talking about someone that's upset, angry, mad, or grudgy. But at the same time, we could talk about someone who is trying to change their ways. So it's like very dualistic here. Okay, but either way, regardless of the intuitive messages I just said, I feel there is something that somebody is still holding on to deeply. Okay, they're holding on to it very deeply. Okay, it's hard to process. So let's go in on that Nine of Cups. It's a little heavy here. So notice we have a lot of water sign energy now. At Scorpio, we have Pisces and Cancer. So let's see why that Nine of Cups is in the mix. And water signs are known for their deep emotional waters, right? So just know in this time you might be a little more emotional than you normally are. So why is that Nine of Cups here? Thank you. I mean, the exciting news, the good news, this is very positive here. So we're getting a totally different type of energy. Okay. And now I'm picking something up a little odd here. Earth sign energy with the Page of Pentacles. We could be talking about conversations and talks. I'm going to give you two messages. One, if the reading from last week about exciting news incoming resonated for you, that could still be in play here. That there could still be some good news coming in or a good conversation. However, if we're going along with that little warning about a person that could be angry, upset, or mad, this could be the type of individual where they're not going to tell you they are. Where it's like, they're not going to tell you, so no, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Water under the bridge. It's cool. Like, that's the vibe. And I'm not trying to stir the pot, right? I'm not trying to be grim. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger or stir the pot. But that's just what I'm feeling here. Now, it could be both for some of you. Maybe all of you are going to get some really good news incoming still that we saw last week. That's a powerful message. But if there is somebody, and it could even be you, depends, if somebody steps on your toes or somebody has stepped on your toes, you might be in the mode where it's like, all right, I'm not going to say nothing about it yet. Like, I'm not, and no, everything's fine for now. Like, that's the vibe I'm picking up. For another portion of you, this could be really good things, like new things coming in as well. So I would say just be cautious in this time. Let's move in on the moon. We'll see what's up with the moon, then we'll do a quick little recap. I'm not going to say this is a confusing energy, but it's like it's a masked type of energy. Let's go in on the moon and then we'll do a recap before we get into the shadow card. Like, this energy is masking this. So let's see what that moon has to say. It could be someone just saying, hey, I'm just going to be optimistic. I'm going to look at the bright side of things. I mean, I don't judge, right? I just tell you the interpretations and what I feel. So if any of these are things you're feeling, I'm not judging you, okay? Let's see what that moon has to say. No, there's no way for me to know what every single person has been going through. Now, for a portion of you, like, if none of this is hitting, that's a good thing, okay? If it's not hitting, feel free to watch your other alignments, right? Let's see why the moon is there. Thank you. All right, everything will be okay in the end. Everything will stabilize. I feel like you do have a protective, impenetrable force around you, which is a good thing with what we were feeling here in the beginning. We have the Four of Wands, the 1111 card underneath the moon. So this is like unseen protection I'm feeling here on the back end, which I love. Now, the Four of Wands, very celebratory type of energy. So maybe something's going to turn out way better than you expected to. Maybe whatever this person's feeling, they'll resolve it within themselves and it won't be, you know, it's something that you don't even really have to worry about. They'll resolve it in themselves over time. But when I see the Four of Wands, I say this is a big card of omens as well. It's celebratory, right? But it's very solid. It could represent the family and the home. When I see it underneath a card like this moon, sure, I could say, yeah, that's an unexpected win coming your way. But to me, this feels more like unseen protection. spiritual protection, spiritual guidance. However, I will say this, pay attention to signs and omens. This is a huge card of omens. And when we have it under a spiritual card, remember I was saying intuition, pay attention to the number, signs, synchronicities, omens, dreams, all that stuff. Your spirit team could be trying to guide you or warn you. That's a possibility here. But I do see this unseen protection, which is very, very good. Okay, even if you can't see it, even if you can't sense it, but there is this powerful energy of omens afoot. So let's go through and do a quick recap here, because Gemini, I mean, dualistic to say the least, because we do have some very positive things, but this underlying energy feels a little masked. So let's go through it before we get into the shadow card. Position number one, we have the Four of Pentacles with the Death card in the upright. And that was initially feeling a little grudgy to me. Somebody who's upset, angry, mad, and they're not letting it go for whatever reason. Could just be something from the past that someone's like, yeah, I'm not ready to let that go. I'm not ready to heal from that yet. And that's their prerogative, right? But the thing that concerned me a little bit, what felt like a warning to me, is as we got to the middle, we have the Nine of Cups with the Page of Pentacles in the upright, which could be good, right? That could still be the good news or exciting news coming in for you, because there's a lot of positive here on the back end. However, I do feel like this person won't be confrontational about it. They're going to be like, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's good. It's all good. We're cool. So just watch out for things like that in this time for sure. Moving to the back end, I feel like you are a protected individual. We have the Moon with the Four of Wands. So unseen protection is showing up here. Guides, angels, spirit team, which is a really beautiful thing. Another thing I did say is like, sure, there could be unexpected winds coming in or something turning out in your benefit eventually, but please watch out for the powerful omens, the signs and synchronicities, because it's showing up. So please take a screenshot of that, Gemini. Please look into that further. We're going to get you a shadow card now. Definitely a different flavor of reading for you this week, that's for sure. But let's see what's in the shadows for Gemini. Shuffle it up, my guides. What do we have for my friends? And yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll leave a link for it down in the comments. I'm always doing extra readings and special readings for my beautiful members down there. So that's a great way to support the channel if you're so inclined. Obviously, no pressure, but let's get you a shadow card here. Just wanted to slip that in real quick. Let's see what's happening here with Gemini. Whether it's something within you, something you don't quite see, maybe it's attached to that moon energy. Thank you. Chariot, so more of this water sign energy showing up. We have the Chariot in the shadows. This is a card of travel. It's a card of distance and vehicles and stuff like that. But it's also a card of determination. If you're not linked to a Cancer or water sign, when I see the Chariot, I do think of forward movement and forward momentum. Okay, so whether it is distance between you and an individual or distance between an event, like we're talking time distance, the Chariot could be showing that. But this is one of the fastest moving cards in the whole entire deck. And when we see it in the shadows, this is Spirit telling you to keep going. Keep it moving. Don't stop. So there might be something you're doing, a way you're acting, or a path you're on that you need to keep traveling down when this card shows up in the shadows. I feel like it's very simple and straightforward and determined. So Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the September subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's Fire and Air readings. But for October, I'll be going back to one of the classics. I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of the most beautiful decks out there. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments if there's a zodiac sign that you clash with. If so, which signs do you kind of bump heads with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of October, your name will be announced in the community tab, my friends. As always, much love, and I'll see you next time.